Yes, here's a tight, high-impact opening shock. Hook. 330 words written to grab attention and lead directly into the story while clearly flagging what's reported versus unverified. Brace yourselves. The Cleveland Browns just hit a breaking point that could rewrite this season. Reports say the front office quietly traded Joe Flacco and immediately bumped rookie Shedeur Sanders up the depth chart. That sounds like a routine roster move until you hear how it happened. Insiders are saying the owner and GM made the call without the head coach's blessing. If that's true, it isn't just a trade. It's a direct challenge to the coach's authority. Imagine waking up to see your backup shipped out on your phone. No call, no heads up, just a notification. That's exactly what's been reported. A head coach blindsided by a decision that should have been a conversation. People inside the building are describing it as a power play. Ownership and the front office stepping in and changing the plan on purpose. Fans are stunned. Players are whispering. Reporters are calling it a civil war. This isn't about strategy on Sunday. It's about who makes the big decisions in that organization. The narrative going around is sharp and simple. The people writing the checks wanted the rookie moved into position, and they did it, whether the coach agreed or not. That kind of public undermining can destroy trust overnight. It can turn a locker room into a battleground. It can push a respected coach into a corner where his only options look bad. But let's be careful. Some of the loudest claims are still being framed as reports and insider accounts, not confirmed fact. We'll mark what's been verified and what's disputed as we go. Still, the implication is huge. If the front office really bypassed the coaching staff, the Browns just sent a message. The quarterback future matters more than the coach's control. And in the NFL, what? Control is everything. Stick around because what started as a roster tweak now looks like the opening salvo in a much bigger fight. It all started with a single trade that barely made headlines at first. Early October, the Browns quietly sent veteran quarterback Joe Flacco packing. No press conference, no long explanation, just a short announcement that left fans wondering what was going on behind the scenes. Within hours, reporters noticed something even more shocking. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie phenom drafted to be the franchise's future, had suddenly jumped up to QB2 on the depth chart. Now, on paper, that sounds routine. But according to multiple local insiders, including Tony Grossi, this wasn't just a football decision. It was a front office power move. The owner, Jimmy Haslam, the same way fans did, through a phone notification. Think about that. A two-time Coach of the Year learning his roster has changed before he's even briefed? That's not normal. That's Stefanski's authority. According to longtime insiders, the front office made the Flacco trade and Shedeur Sanders promotion without Stefanski's input. A move some are calling one of the boldest internal shakeups the team has ever seen. Veteran reporter Tony Grossi, who's covered the Browns for decades, went on air saying this wasn't a coaching call at all. It was ownership taking control. If true, it means the most important decision of the season happened above the coach's head. The message? We don't trust your judgment anymore. And for any NFL head coach, that's the beginning of the end. Inside the locker room, players reportedly sensed the tension. Stefanski's authority took a hit overnight. Some players were excited to see Shedeur get his chance, while others were stunned that their coach had been blindsided. You could feel the energy shift, like everyone suddenly realized who really runs the Cleveland Browns. Now, it's important to say this clearly. None of this has been officially confirmed by the team, but the reports all point in the same direction. Ownership is done waiting, and Stefanski may have just lost the power to control his own roster. For a coach who's prided himself on structure and discipline, that kind of public humiliation doesn't just sting, it shatters everything he's built. And that's when whispers started. Was Kevin Stefanski about to walk away? So why would a coach as experienced and respected as Kevin Stefanski risk everything over one quarterback decision? Theories have been flying all week, and none of them make him look great. Some believe it's pure pride. Stefanski misjudged his own guy. For a two-time Coach of the Year, that's a tough pill to swallow. Others think it's self-preservation. If Shedeur plays too soon and struggles, Stefanski gets blamed for rushing him. If Shedeur dominates, ownership looks right, and Stefanski looks out of touch. Either way, he loses control of the narrative. By keeping Gabriel in, he could at least protect his job a little longer. Or so he thought. But there's a third theory, the one that paints him as cautious, not stubborn. Maybe Stefanski genuinely believes Shedeur wasn't ready yet. Maybe he's seen too many promising rookies thrown into chaos before they could handle it. Some coaches play the long game. Maybe he thought he was protecting Shedeur, not blocking him. The problem? Nobody bought it. Not the players, not the media, and definitely not ownership. When your words sound more like excuses than strategy, people start connecting dots. And those dots all pointed to a coach losing his grip on power. And that's when the pressure really started to boil. While Kevin Stefanski kept repeating that Shedeur Sanders wasn't ready, everyone inside the building seemed to disagree loudly. Reporters, players, even veterans with no reason to sugarcoat things were all saying the same thing. This kid can play. Veteran receiver Jerry Jeudy called Shedeur's passes some of the best I've ever caught. That's not rookie hype. That's a statement from a guy who's caught balls from elite quarterbacks. Reporters like Mary Kay Cabot, who's covered the Browns for decades, echoed the same sentiment. She described watching Shedeur in practice as a sight to behold. Pinpoint accuracy, effortless touch, NFL-level confidence. Even the team's defensive backs, whose job is to make quarterbacks look bad, reportedly admitted he was shredding them with laser throws in scrimmages. The buzz wasn't just internal, either. Ian Rappaport reported that the Browns front office fully expects Shedeur to start at some point later this season. And when he does, they don't expect him to give that job back. That's how much belief there is in his ability. So imagine the tension. You've got a locker room watching a rookie dominate practice, a fan base begging for a glimpse of him on Sundays, and a head coach standing firm saying, "Not yet." At some point, that wall was going to crack. Stefanski's voice started to sound less like leadership and more like resistance. The energy around the team had shifted. It was no longer if Shedeur plays, but when. And when that moment finally comes, it might not just be a quarterback change. It could be the start of a new era in Cleveland. Through all the chaos, one person refused to lose his composure: Shedeur Sanders. While the media exploded with rumors and fans demanded answers, Shedeur stayed silent, focused, and professional. No cryptic posts, no public complaints, just quiet confidence and consistent work. For a 22-year-old rookie surrounded by headlines, that kind of composure speaks volumes. He showed up every day, running drills with intensity, earning respect from teammates who could easily see the pressure he was under. Jerry Jeudy, who's caught passes from some big-name quarterbacks, reportedly told teammates that Shedeur just throws it different. Even the defensive unit, known for being brutally honest, admitted he was slicing them up in practice with pinpoint precision. And while his father, Deion Sanders, is one of the loudest voices in sports, Shedeur didn't lean on that spotlight. He let his play do the talking. No interviews, no demands, just quiet domination. That's rare maturity, especially when your name carries that kind of weight. Meanwhile, the team around him was falling apart. Coaches clashing, media dissecting every rumor. Yet through it all, Shedeur became the calm center of the storm, the one guy in Cleveland acting like he'd already been there before. That kind of mindset is what separates hype from legacy. Anyone can shine when things are easy, but keeping your head straight when the building's burning down, that's something different. That's leadership, And that's when people inside the organization started saying it out loud. Maybe this wasn't just Cleveland's future quarterback. Maybe he was the one who could finally save them. When the dust finally settled, one thing was clear. The balance of power inside the Cleveland Browns had completely shifted. The ownership won, and Kevin Stefanski was left standing in the wreckage of a team divided. Reports suggest that even if he hasn't officially resigned, his days in Cleveland may be numbered. Once the front office steps over a head coach like that, there's rarely a way back. Inside the locker room, players could feel the change. Conversations weren't about if Shedeur would start, they were about when. Some veterans even started preparing for it quietly, knowing the kid had earned the right. And according to insiders, the Browns' decision-makers have already begun discussing who will lead the team next. Someone whose vision aligns with ownership's faith in Shedeur Sanders. Because make no mistake, this entire saga wasn't just about a depth chart. It was about identity. The Browns chose direction over loyalty, potential over patience. They're betting their future on a rookie who hasn't even thrown a regular season pass yet. Risky? Absolutely. But for the first time in years, there's a spark of belief in Cleveland. A sense that maybe this kid really is different. Shedeur's handled everything like a pro, and that maturity has bought him the one thing every young quarterback needs: trust. The next step is inevitable. Whether it's next week or next month, he's going to get his shot. And when he does, every eye in the NFL will be watching. Not just to see if Shedeur can play, but to see if this entire power shift was worth it. Because if he wins, he won't just save the Browns. He'll validate the revolution that tore the team apart. So here we are. The Browns have burned the old playbook and drawn a line in the sand. Whether by design or disaster, this franchise has changed direction completely. The Kevin Stefanski era made the ending, but something bigger is starting. Something built around Shedeur Sanders, a rookie who's already handled more chaos in a few months than some veterans face in a career. What's wild is how quickly it all happened. Just weeks ago, Cleveland was being praised for stability, a playoff-caliber roster, a respected coach, and a patient development plan. Now it's a full-on power reset. Ownership and the front office have staked their reputation on a young quarterback who hasn't even had his first real NFL moment yet. They're betting that Shedeur's poise, confidence, and talent can not only win games, but also rebuild the fractured identity of this team. For Kevin Stefanski, this might be the toughest chapter of his career. A coach who once looked like the franchise's anchor now finds himself painted as the obstacle. Maybe he was protecting Shedeur, maybe he was protecting his system, but the result's the same. He lost control of the narrative. And in the NFL, once the locker room senses that power shift, there's no rewind button. Meanwhile, Shedeur hasn't said a word. He's just kept showing up, practicing, and proving people right or wrong the quiet way. That silence has spoken louder than any interview could. The players believe in him. The front office believes in him. Now the question is whether he can make the rest of the league believe too. Because when Shedeur finally steps onto that field, he won't just be playing for the Browns. He'll be carrying the weight of a franchise that tore itself apart just to give him this shot. The stage is set, the coach may be gone, and the future starts now. So what do you think? Did the Browns make the right call? Or did they just gamble their entire season on a rookie and a dream? Drop your thoughts below, hit that subscribe button, and stay locked in, because the next chapter in Cleveland's story is just beginning.